Oh, let's review what 1 and 2 were before we wipe them off our brain and just think about 3 for the next 15, 20 minutes. So, number 1 was, I'll give you a moment to think of it. Try to remember, don't just listen and wait. Okay, first one was head suspended, or the actual name is light and swift with the head as though suspended from above, but we call it head suspended for short. That's all I'll say about that. Number 2, think about it, try to remember it, I just said it. Close the chest and lift the back. Close chest, lift back. So yeah, actually let's take a moment just and try to physically remember head suspended. So just standing there, just try to, in whatever small way it happens, or big way or whatever, just embody head suspended for a moment. Breathe a couple breaths through your head suspended. Okay, and this is not easy, it's a little, takes some agility, but try to then switch to closed chest, lift the back. So just whatever you do physically to feel it or be it, closed chest, lift the back, embody it for a moment, breathe it, breathe through it. And you know, it's not coincidentally, I love just feeling these again. I felt the ease of breathing after doing those 2. It just does things. You may not notice that. Everyone's different.
I have a question about head suspended.
Okay, a quick question about the first point. Yes, sir.
My feeling when I start doing it is that my head placement is wrong, but then I need to move my chin sort of down a little bit so that my head is being suspended basically from the, I don't know what this part's called of my head, but
Called the crown, I don't really know. Yeah, I'm not, yeah.
But it's not, it sort of feels like maybe almost if I were to run a string.
Hold it there. Yeah, hold it there and look forward.
But it would be, I don't know if I'm off.
Yeah, that's about in the right spot.
Maybe a little
go
further
a little farther forward, actually.
Forward, okay.
And then split the difference, go back a little from there. Yeah, yeah, there.
And then my chin's not even with the floor.
No,
it's
no.
down here.
Yeah, up a little, up a little, up a little, up a little. Yeah, try there, it's hard to tell exactly, but I think that's about.
It's hard with the mask.
Yeah. 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 So try it, so yeah, memorize what that feels like.
Thank you,
Yeah.
sir.
So I was watching a student in the class from the side and feeling for where his point would be to suspend, and that's not obvious, so I'm trying to kind of help him through that. And then where the chin should be from there, and it was a little low, and it came up when it came up, and what looked like a balance point to me. And at the end of this, at some point before Black Sash probably even, you become the authority on that, and I can only help. But early on, especially if I could manipulate right now, I'm still holding off from doing that. I probably could with the guidelines, and I'm sanitizing, but I'm just being a little careful on that. So, does that make sense?
Yes, sir. Well, I appreciate it.
Yeah, you're very welcome.
It'll be easier when we're back, but we just stay until we get there.
Yeah, yes, sir. And you know, asking about the first point is okay too, but we'll wipe it off our brain in a second. But the third kind of assumes the first and second are achieved to some degree. Cool. All right, let's go to number 3. Guess what it is? No, don't guess what it is. It's loosen the waist. I'll just tell you. Number 3, loosen the waist. And like the others, it's got a short little point and then longer commentary. The waist is the body's ruler, not like measurement, but like commander. If you're able to have a loop, that's my comment on their comment. The waist is the body's ruler, is their comment. If you are able to have a loose waist, then the 2 feet will have strength. Okay, so if you're able to loosen your waist, the 2 feet will have strength. Now, obviously, there's no magical transference of power, but what we're talking about here is tightness in the waist will restrict the power you can deliver from your feet. That kind of makes sense if you think about it. The changes from substantial and insubstantial and back again should come from the waist. So now it's saying, at the very base, the broad level, when you're shifting and feeling the substantial to insubstantial change, that movement should come from the waist, which might seem weird. You might think it came from the feet. Really, it all comes from the whole body. It's a way of thinking about it. But let's think about it now, that those changes come from the waist. Therefore, it is said in the Song of 13 Movements, so now he's quoting another Tai Chi Chuan classic writing. Therefore, it said in the Song of the 13 Movements, the order or command and idea should come from the waist. So this is the idea of kind of deciding where you go. If you're not able to obtain strength, try to obtain it from your waist and feet, or try to correct the movement of your waist and feet. Counterintuitive. If we're not able to obtain power, we might try to wrestle harder in the arms, right? This is saying, no, wait, check your waist, check your feet, check the root of how you're delivering that power. Check these foundation. Let me read it one more time without all this stopping. Loosen the waist. The waist is the body's ruler. If you're able to have a loose waist, then the 2 feet will have strength. The lower part of the body will be firm. I think I might have skipped that. The changes from substantial to insubstantial and back again should come from the waist. Therefore, it said in the Song of the 13 Movements, the order and the idea should come from the waist. If you're not able to obtain strength or do what you want, try to obtain it from your waist and feet. Anyway, so any questions about that? Okay.
Makes sense.
Cool. So it's all good stuff. As far as what to do, yeah, let's go ahead and get into sort of a embracing horse, kind of sunken down. And just from here, let the upper body, maybe even from the shoulders and arms, turn. And see if you can loosen where you feel it pulling. See if you can relax where you feel it pull. Now, word of caution, I can have a tight waist. I'm going to try not to move my waist. Now, see, my knees are taking up the movement where my waist wants to move. So try to bend the knees and sink down and kind of keep them where they are, and see if you can turn the upper body without the knees moving too much. It messes it up if you look down, but check down if you can't feel how much they're moving. Ah, very good. Yeah, very good. There may be a little play there. You don't want them totally there, but it's not, right? You don't want that. I'm doing a funny dance. So as we go through the entire first section, your new assignment is to forget 1 and 2 and to just loosen your waist. That's all. No biggie. Kind of joking. It's easy to say. So start right here, feet close together, hands relaxed by the sides. I won't call out too much except for reminding you to loosen your waist. Begin right now and just loosen through the middle of the body, even if you can't feel exactly where your waist is, which is not uncommon. And begin. I'm doing commencement if you can't see. As you move, return to loosening the waist. It's natural for other thoughts to come up, for all kinds of things to come up. Just return to loosen the waist. And then the new one, loosen the waist. Loosen the waist. Loosen the waist. Now we're going to strike the shoulder, wide crane, spread wings, loosen the waist. Into the brush knee push section. Keep on loosening the waist. Brush knees 2, 3, and 4. Loosen the waist. questions, comments, suggestions?
I got so focused on being loose in the waist, I missed a few steps.
It's okay. Like this is the important, yeah, the important points is the time to let those other things mess up. It's all right. Like I said, it's a sign of you're actually focusing on the thing that you're supposed to and not on your sequence. Let's do it one more time.
Sure.
I think, yeah, one more time through and we'll bow out black session. Let's change the focus slightly just for fun. If you want to, if you're still, I'm trying to loosen my waist, don't give me something else. You can still loosen your waist, I won't know the difference, unless I watch very carefully. So instead of that, try this maybe. When you shift, see if you can let your shift come from the waist. When you turn, obviously let it come from the waist, but see if you can feel all of those kinds of movements as originating in the waist. And begin. The idea, the order, the command come from the waist. You know, we tend to think of ourselves as being somewhat up in our heads, like a homunculus. But see if you can think of yourself as inside your waist. Drop back up into your head, put your mind into your waist. Mind if this move or does an extra movement follow. Last guitar, I think we did an extra one again, sorry for that. I was thinking about what I was going to say. Last brush knee. Hidden hand punch. All right, slightly modified first section. So, normally in this unit, this would be the part of the class where I kind of say like, how was that? And usually people sharing their experience of how it went can be very informative for me and for the other students. Do you have anything, you don't have no pressure. Any comments on that or questions?
There were definitely parts where I felt like I was really in my waist, and then there were certain movements where I kind of got in my head and was like, I don't know how to put waist into this.
Yes, sir.
Like, white crane spreads wings, I was like, oh, this is very waist friendly.
Yeah.
But then when we got to hidden hand punch.
Mm.
At the beginning it was, and then by the end it was like, oh, it's not, now it's not waist friendly anymore.
That's really cool, yeah.
Weird.
So if you don't mind me paraphrasing for the camera, yeah, so if you couldn't, I don't know what you can hear out of that, but basically some moves, it was more intuitive to be in the waist, or more waist-friendly, I like that. And then some where it just wouldn't make sense from the waist yet, and you have to think about it, and it just kind of gets out. Is that accurate? Yeah.
Definitely.
Okay.
I feel like after, like you said, sometimes it takes 100 times to get a move down, and so now that's day one of waist. Yeah.
Very good. Okay. Well, I hope that that tool for practice benefits you. That's I really like the 10 important points. I still use them to this day for working on my Tai Chi and trying to improve my own Tai Chi. Let's bow out our Black Sash training. There's the email for the life skill went out with one life skill. I think we may be doing the wrong one, but I'm going to keep doing that one for now. I'm going to keep doing the wrong one until I get corrected. Path of self-mastery requires a creative spirit. A creative spirit has no self-doubt. Path of self-mastery requires a creative spirit. A creative spirit has no self-doubt.
The path of self-mastery requires a creative spirit.
Creative
Spirit has no self-doubt. Bow to Senior Head Instructor.
Now to Black Sash training beginners, intermediate, whoever else is watching. Black Sash training dismissed.